Good afternoon, and welcome to the University of Richmond's President's House. I want to begin by welcoming and thanking members of our Spider community. This brief musical interlude this afternoon was really inspired by you. I've heard from many of you in response to my emails and my videos asking if I might do a short musical prelude. I also want to invite and thank those who are with us today from the VCU community, from the greater Richmond community, and in fact, from those who are watching around the country and the world. A very special shout out to my friends and family in Germany who are watching today. Normally, during this time of the year, I'm traveling, I'm on campus, attending many celebratory events for faculty, students, and staff. But obviously, because of the pandemic, my schedule has changed, as it has for so many of you, indeed most of you. It's been somewhat isolating, but on the bright side, I have been grateful for the time that I've been able to spend with my wife, Dr. Betty Neal Crutcher, here in the President's home. Our daughter came down and joined us for Easter. And by the way, Dr. Betty and I just recently celebrated 40 years of marriage, and in back of me, you see a portrait of me that was done when I lived in Germany by the artist Gerhard Keller that was given to us as a wedding gift 40 years ago. I find during times such as this, it gives me an opportunity to reflect on what's really, really important in life. And for me, the top of that list would be relationships and connecting to those I love and care about. This has been very isolating and very difficult for many, many of us. Those of us who have had to change our normal routines, our students who are no longer on campus, but who are at home studying, those of you who are concerned about individuals in your family or close to you who are themselves sick as a result of the coronavirus, or who are worried about those who are loved by you who might be susceptible to the virus itself. For me, I'm especially saddened this spring, seniors, that we will not be able to celebrate your graduation with a commencement. As I thought about it, I've been attending commencements each year for the past 42 years, with one exception. I always look forward to that celebration, to celebrating with you and your families, to recognize the hard work that you've put in and the sacrifice to graduate. And I assure you, graduates, we will be doing some kind of in-person commencement sometime next year. But through all of this, for me, what I rely on for my salve, if you will, my relaxation, is listening to and performing music. And so I thought today I would share two of my favorite pieces. I call them my chicken soup for the musical soul, my comfort food, if you will, two pieces that mean a great deal to me. I would also add, those of you out there who are artists, musicians, writers, you might also think about ways to share your art with others. I guarantee you, you would bring happiness and joy to many, many folks. So there are two pieces I'm going to perform today. One is by Henry Eccles, a composer born in England, who was a violinist. He lived in the 17th and 18th centuries. This piece is special to me because it was the first piece that I studied once I began to seriously study cello. You see, music has been an incredibly important part of my life since I started singing in the church, Zion Baptist Church in Cincinnati, at the age of 6. I didn't really start playing the cello until the age of 14. And less than a year later, I played 2 movements of a Bach suite on the campus of Miami University of Ohio, about 35 miles away from Cincinnati. And the professor of music, Professor Elizabeth Pottinger, happened to be in the audience. She heard me play, was very impressed that I could play so well, and she offered eventually to teach me free of charge if my parents would transport me from Cincinnati to Oxford every Saturday. So every Saturday at the age of 15, I would get on the bus at 7:40 and travel to Oxford, Ohio. I'd stay there for the entire day and come back home at around 6. The very first piece that Liz taught me was the Eccles Sonata in G minor. Now, for those of you who are Baroque purists, this is a sonata that was originally written for the violin. As I said, Eccles was a violinist. However, in the 19th century, it was, as many pieces of this kind, was transcribed for the cello. I'm going to play the first movement for you, the Eccles Sonata in G minor. The second piece is by Camille Saint-Saëns, a 19th century French composer. This piece has significance to me, not only because it's one of the greatest pieces ever for the cello, but also because it is likely, I say likely, I'm not 100% convinced of this, but likely the piece I heard as a child that made me choose the cello at the age of 14. You see, growing up in Cincinnati in the public schools, the Cincinnati Symphony under the direction of Thor Johnson had some really very successful children's concerts. You had to pay extra to attend those concerts, but my parents felt it was important for us to be introduced to music and theater, and so they paid the extra fees for us to attend the children's concerts at the Cincinnati Symphony. And on one occasion, they performed the Carnival of the Animals. And in this piece, Saint-Saëns, and by the way, I would say as an aside, this was a piece that he actually hoped would never really get a lot of attention and be performed that much. He was, during his lifetime, not necessarily proud of the piece. It's a composition that uses instruments in the orchestra to depict the animal family, and the swan is depicted by the cello. So you have the solo cello with the undulating sound of the harp in the background, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful, beautiful piece. The Swan by Camille Saint-Saëns. I want to thank all of you for joining me today for this short musical interlude. And for the members of our Spider community, I want to assure you that while there will be many challenges and disappointments ahead, I have no doubt, that working together as a community, we will in the end be a much stronger institution. For everyone who's with us today, please take care of yourselves. When you go outside, wear your face mask. Take care of yourselves and of each other. Thanks so much again for joining me today. Bye-bye.